Good morning, students. Today, let us start the first lesson from Civics, our Constitution. Before going to study about our Constitution, what are the problems faced by India after independence? As you all know, India became an independent country on 15th August 1947. The major problems faced by India during that time: rehabilitating the refugees who migrated from Pakistan. When India became an independent country, or when India was divided, India and Pakistan, rehabilitating the refugees who migrated from the Pakistan. Then merger of the princely states. During the time of 1947, there had many number of princely states. The British government gave an opportunity to the princely states. They can join to the Pakistan, or they can join to India, or they can remain independent. So, the merger of princely states, maintenance of law and order. The problem of refugee was solved by the government by providing shelter near Dandakaranya and different parts of the country. Then, integration of the princely states problem was solved by Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. So he was called as a Iron Man of India. The major problem faced by India, or the major challenge faced by India, that is framing constitution. Because before the independence, our country was ruled by the British according to their rules and regulation. Now India became an independent country. So this became an inevitable for India to frame the constitution. Now, let us see what is the meaning of constitution. Constitution is a set of rules and regulation which guide the administration of country. Constitution is a set of rules and regulation which guide the administration of country. Here, the constitution is a reference guide to the government, and no one should violate the constitution. We can say constitution is a fundamental law of the country. Next, let us learn about Constituent Assembly. What is Constituent Assembly? Constituent Assembly is a body or an assembly of popularly elected representative which is assembled for the purpose of drafting or adopting the constitution. Or we can say that Constituent Assembly is a body which is helped to prepare the constitution. The recommendation of the Motilal Nehru Committee and the decision taken by the meeting of the National Congress at Karachi in 1939 emphasized the need for the formation of Constituent Assembly. As per the recommendation of the Cabinet Commission, a Constituent Assembly with the Indian member was formed in the year 1946, because during the time of 1946 itself, Indians were knowing that India is going to attain the independence. So, as per the recommendation of the Cabinet Commission, a Constituent Assembly with the Indian member was formed in the year 1946. The Assembly had 389 members. This Constituent Assembly had 389 members. With the partition of India, the total number came down to 299. So there were 7 members from Mysuru princely state. Here, the first meeting of Constituent Assembly was held on 9th December 1946 under the chairmanship of Sachidananda Sinha. The next meeting was held on 11th December 1946 under the chairmanship of Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Then this Dr. Rajendra Prasad only became the first president of independent India. The Constituent Assemblies, the first meeting of Constituent Assembly was held on December 9, 1946, as I already told, and in the first meeting, as a temporary chairman, Sachidananda Sinha became the president of the Constituent Assembly. As I told, the second meeting was held in the December 11, 1946, which was presided by Dr. Rajendra Prasad, and T.T. Krishnamachari became the vice president of second meeting of Constituent Assembly. The most famous members of Constituent Assembly are Jawaharlal Nehru, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, C. Rajagopal Achari, K.M. Munshi, T.T. Krishnamachari, Srimati Sarojini Naidu, Srimati Sucheta Kripalani, S. Nijalingappa, K.C. Reddy, Kengal Hanumantaya, etc. They were all the most famous national leaders of India who are participated in the preparation of Indian Constitution. Now, drafting committee. The Constituent Assembly formed 22 committees and 5 subcommittees to examine in detail all the issues related to the country. So, as you all know, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was the chairman of one of the most important committee, that is drafting committee. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar became the chairman of a drafting committee of Indian Constitution. Based on his contribution to the framing of Constitution, he is called as a chief architect of the Constitution or Samvindhana Shilpi. Why? Because he played a vital role in the preparation of Indian Constitution. So, he was called as a chief architect of Indian Constitution, as well as he became the first law minister of independent India. The other members of drafting committee are N. Gopalaswamy Iyengar, Alladi Krishnaswamy Iyer, K.M. Munshi, T.T. Krishnamachari. Now, framing the Constitution. How many days took to discuss about the framing the Constitution? It took 145 days meeting for the discussion. It took 2 years, 11 months and 18 days. Our Constitution, the preparation of our Constitution took 2 years, 11 months, 18 days. Simply our Constitution was, or easily our Constitution was not prepared. By studying other countries' Constitution and selecting some of the important principles from other Constitution, our Constitution was prepared under the leadership of many number of famous national leaders. So finally it was approved November 26 and 1949. Our Constitution was implemented January 26, 1950. That's what every year January 26 is celebrated as Republic Day, because on that day our Constitution was implemented. Why the date January 26 only selected? Because the demand for Purna Swaraj, means the total freedom for India, was adopted at the Lahore session, which took place on January 26, 1930. During the time of 1930 itself, Indian National Congress declared Purna Swaraj. For that memory, January 26th only selected for the implementation of our Constitution. Next, let us learn about the preamble to the Constitution. What is the preamble of the Constitution? Preamble to the Constitution is nothing but introductory note to the Constitution. The Constitution of India begins with the preamble. The preamble is considered as a heart of the Constitution, as it represents the dream and ideologies of the people. So it is also called as a jewel of the Constitution, and it is also called as a political horoscope by K.M. Munshi. The preamble contains the fundamental policies and ideals of the Constitution. It is the sum of the structure, values, principles and goals of the Constitution. It is based on the aspirations and ideals of the people of India. It means that whatever the principle which contain in our Constitution was explained in the preamble of Constitution of India. The preamble is a part of the objective resolution put forward by Jawaharlal Nehru on December 13, 1946 and approved by the Constituent Assembly on January 22, 1947. What does the preamble of the Constitution says? Preamble of Constitution says, "We the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic and secure to all its citizens, justice, social, economic and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation." This was there in the preamble of our Constitution. Now let us see what it means. The main factors of preamble: we the Indian citizen, means it was framed by the Indians, and we the Indian citizens are the Indians, means we the Indian citizen. It was framed by the Indians and it is for the Indian. Sovereign means India is not under the control of any other country or not a part of any bloc. It has its own foreign policy, non-alignment policy and 5-year plans, by implementing which the country has achieved internal and external autonomy. Next, what does a socialist mean? The word socialist has incorporated by the 42nd Amendment, which was done in the year 1976. The goal of our Constitution is to create social equality and promote the welfare. Welfare of the state is the main objective of our Constitution. To enable this, directive principles of state policy have been incorporated. The main aim of directive principles of state policy is welfare of the society or welfare of the state. This principle was borrowed from Irish Constitution. Through this amendment, land reforms and other progressive economic reforms were introduced. What does the secular mean in our preamble? The word secular also incorporated in the Constitution through the 42nd Amendment in 1976. Here, no religion has given a national religion, because in India we can see many number of religion. All the religions are equal and citizens are having the liberty to follow any religion according to their wish. That is nothing but secular or secularism. Democratic republic. Securing the happiness of everyone is the responsibility of the government. Problems are solved through the discussions. Elections are held every 5 years. Selection of the president through the election. Republic means head of the state is elected, not hereditary. Next, let us learn about salient features of our Constitution. What are the important features of our Constitution? Indian Constitution is a written and lengthy Constitution. What is the meaning of written and lengthy Constitution? Our Constitution is in written form. All the rules and regulation, for example, fundamental rights, fundamental duties, directive principles of state policy, then powers and functions of legislature, executive, judiciary, each and every concepts of our government or our administration was in the written form. Means all the rules and regulations are in written form. The powers and functions of the organs of the government like a legislature, executive and judiciary have been delineated in the Constitution. Republican system. As you all know, in the preamble itself says India is a republic. India is a republic means head of the state, head of the country was elected, not hereditary. Head of the country, who is called as a head of the country? President is a head of the country. He was elected, not hereditary. During the time of kingship, after the death of father, son used to come to the power on the basis of hereditary principle. But in the democratic form of the government, we are having the republican system. Head of the country is indirectly elected by the citizens. In India, the president is the constitutional head of the state and he is elected. As you all know, the present president Ramnath Kovind, and who is the first president of independent India is Dr. Babu Rajendra Prasad. Next, one more important salient feature of Indian Constitution, that is fundamental rights. Fundamental rights. How many fundamental rights are there? There are 6 fundamental rights. They are right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational rights, right to get constitutional remedies. These are the fundamental rights which were given by our constitution. In detail, we will learn about the fundamental rights because we are having one more lesson. So, fundamental right is also one of the most important salient feature of our constitution. Next, fundamental duties. As I told, fundamental rights and duties are the 2 faces of the same coin. So, fundamental rights are the facilities which are provided by the constitution, and if anybody is violating your fundamental rights, he can be punished under the law. So, like that, here we have to perform some duties towards the nation. So, that is the fundamental duties. Duties are our responsibility towards our country. There are 11 fundamental duties. These 11 fundamental duties have been delineated in the A part of the 4th chapter under clause 51A of our constitution. So, duties are our responsibility. So, fundamental rights and duties are very important for the each and every individual in India. Next, adult franchise. One of the most important feature of Indian constitution, adult franchise. In India, all the citizens, those who are attained the age of 18 years, they can exercise their right to vote. They have a right to vote, to elect their representative. They can cast their vote. That is called as a adult franchise. One more important salient feature of our constitution, independent and centralized judiciary. You know that in our highest court, where is it? Supreme Court is in New Delhi. So, our court is independent and centralized. Our judiciary is independent, means it's not under the control of any other authority. Neither the legislature nor the executive has a right to interfere with the working of judiciary. That's what our judiciary is called, independent and centralized in our country. The Supreme Court is the highest court in the land, and all high courts and subordinate courts function under it. So, this is about the independent and centralized judiciary. Next, about the party system. Political parties are the pillars of the democracy. We are having the democratic form of the government. In democracy, political parties are the pillars of the democracy. There is a multi-party system in India. Many number of parties are there in India. in the election which party gets the highest vote, or in the general election which party gets highest vote, that party will become the ruling party, whereas the second highest party will become the opposition party, and they will be having, the ruling party will be having the power to administer the country. So these are the important salient features of Indian Constitution. Along with these salient features, there are other salient feature, that is secularism, then partially rigid, partially flexible. So in the today's class we have discussed about how our constitution came into the existence, what is Constituent Assembly and what is the role of Constituent Assembly, drafting committee of the constitution, then preamble of the Indian Constitution and the salient features of Indian Constitution. So what is the Constitution? Constitution is a set of rules and regulation which guide the administration of country, and we can say it is the fundamental law of the country. Everyone must follow the Constitution. No one should violate the Constitution. Our Constitution came into the existence on January 26, 1950. That's what every year January 26 is celebrated as a Republic Day. Who became the chairman of the drafting committee of Indian Constitution? That is Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, and he was called as the architect of Indian Constitution. And Dr. Babu Rajendra Prasad became the first president of independent India. What is preamble? Preamble is a introductory note to the Constitution. The Constitution of India begins with the preamble. Then, what are the salient features of Indian Constitution? Written and lengthy Constitution, Republic, fundamental rights and duties, secularism, independent judiciary, universal adult franchise, party system, election system are the major salient features of Indian Constitution. I hope you all understood about the lesson, our Constitution. Thank you, students.